What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're gonna be looking at a couple different light modifiers. The main thing I want to test today is two different umbrellas. I have a small little, maybe 3-foot umbrella, super easy to pop up. And I just got a 7-foot umbrella that takes a lot more setup time, but it's a lot bigger source, so the light should be much softer. So I want to see what the difference is going to be between a 3-foot light and a 7-foot light. Is it really worth bringing out a 7-foot umbrella if I'm in a small space and I only have room for the small 3-foot umbrella or a softbox? Really just want to look at a couple different modifiers, see how they play against each other, see what they look like, kind of line them up according to the look as the number one most important piece, which ones are the most expensive and if they're worth it if you guys are looking to buying any of these modifiers, and the ease of setup. So let's get into it. This chair out of the way. Ignore the space because this is my garage. Usually I don't show this wide of a setup when I'm doing filming in here, but you know, it's a garage. It's my home. I don't have a $10 million studio like Mr. Beast. 3-foot umbrella, 7-foot umbrella. Start with the 3-foot umbrella, the cheap one. Push it forward, clicks into place, and then slide it there, you're good. That's done. Very, very simple. Put this into the side here. Now we're gonna need to point this up and we're gonna need to turn it all around too. Saw some people online saying that they like the shoot-through umbrellas like the first one we had. Just aiming this at your subject's a lot easier than trying to bounce up and then back in. You know what they say about ladders? If there's a ladder on the wall in Act 1, you should fall off of it by Act 3, something like that. Little trick if you're having trouble getting softbox up onto your light or if it's kind of a heavy one, I like to do it this way. Locks into place a lot easier, and you're up. Okay, so now that the results are in, let's take a look at the 3 different setups that we did side by side, and then let's form an opinion about softness of the lights, how they look, and how easy they were to set up, and how much footprint they take up. Let's take a look. Looking at the 3 different modifiers, to me, the 7-foot umbrella with the diffusion is clearly the softest source. After that, it looks like the 4-foot softbox, and then last place is the 3-foot umbrella, which is kind of what we expected. And the thing that I'm looking at for softness is mainly the nose shadow. There's not a lot of contrast between the cheek and the nose shadow itself, and the shadow is not very defined. It's soft, and it's not a dark, harsh shadow. Compared to the softbox and the umbrella, the shadows get a little bit darker and a little bit harsher, a little bit more defined. That's not bad necessarily, but that's just kind of what I'm using to determine how soft the light is. Now the 7-foot umbrella is the softest light, and it also is nice too because you can tell I'm kind of squinting with the umbrella and the softbox because the light source is just right next to my face and it's just shining right into my eyes. But I'm not squinting really at all with the 7-foot umbrella. It's a bigger source and it was a little bit further away from me, so I didn't have to squint. Now some drawbacks to the 7-foot umbrella is you can see the background is a lot brighter. Because the source is so much bigger, it's just spilling everywhere. It's a lot harder to control a bigger source. It's harder to find a grid for a 7-foot umbrella. It's harder to flag off that big of a source. And the light's just gonna spill everywhere. So you're gonna have an easier time controlling the spill from the 3-foot umbrella or the softbox, especially because you can easily put a grid on your softbox. So those are a couple of things to be aware of when you're looking at soft lights. Now, one thing that was interesting with the 3-foot umbrella actually looked very similar to the softbox with a grid. I think because it was a shoot-through umbrella, it was only shooting right to me and it wasn't really hitting the back wall very much. And it created a similar contrast on the face because the source just wasn't as big. It was still pretty soft. Even my head shadow and the neck and the nose shadow, I mean, they're not very defined shadows. You're still getting a soft light feel from the umbrella. So the softbox with the grid is a little bit softer than the umbrella and it's cutting off a little bit more light on the background, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how the 3-foot umbrella looked compared to the price and how easy it is to set up. So the smaller umbrella looks like a great option to start with if you're looking for soft light, but kind of more dramatic lighting and more shadows on the fill side. But if you're looking for that really soft light, you're gonna wanna have a bigger source than just the small 3-foot umbrella. So hopefully you guys found this useful. This is definitely useful for me to be able to put these things together and film some things, look at some images and what kind of light they produce. Hopefully putting it together on a YouTube video will be helpful for you guys to see the same things too. So yeah, that's it for this one. Till next time, see you guys soon.